super funny how that's all relevant to what it is nowadays. So maybe we should have done AI start making things because they're just gonna kill us all in the end if they do.
One of us about just got Peter Parker, dude.
Oh my gosh. Oh my!
Hello,
God.
ladies and gentlemen.
He did the push up.
So I've seen Thane do that.
I have too.
For real, but he never pushes in the middle. He always just uses his
It's
thumb.
like this, like that.
He's trying to be you can't see his eyes right now because they're all white.
Yeah.
He's an anime protagonist.
True.
So he's doing this, and his eyes are all
People
white.
I've seen the picture of people like press in as the light up little thing.
Yeah. I wonder if they do that just because they don't want to animate the eyes.
Yeah.
Right? Like
It'd make it look cool, just to make it look
I
cool,
feel
like shiny.
To me, though, if I were to make a character, like an anime character, I would not do glasses because sometimes they have to animate it and it looks really weird. Like when they do side profiles.
You're a lie in April.
There's other ones
it's everyone. Yeah.
But I like my glasses, girls.
Yeah.
Because your dad was always ripping on it.
Yeah, he's like, why are the glasses not connecting? I'm like, you gotta be able to see their eyes, Dad.
I like girls with glasses, though.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not attractive. Yeah. I'm sure. What I'm saying is, I feel like it's just a pain. It's another layer of something you have to think about.
And with that cold opening, welcome everybody to Talking Rad.
He cut me off real quick.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, I was about to cut you off as well if he wasn't going to do it. Sorry, Sky.
They don't like glasses. They hate glasses here.
I'm not a glasses
the Rad
fan.
Cats affiliated anime podcast.
Sorry if you have glasses. I love you still.
Yeah. We're here on episode 20, and this week we are talking about stuff. And after the break, we're going to talk about a show called Vivy, Fluorite Ice Song.
Is it Vivy's or Vivy Fluorite Ice Song?
Vivy.
No, I thought it was Vivy's, like it was her Fluorite Ice
like
Song.
Like vivisection.
What is that? Well, that's a word.
Dissecting someone alive, dissecting something while alive.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not that. The show is pretty gruesome at times, but not that.
Yeah. Nobody gets dissected in the show.
Nobody gets dissected. People get bashed in the brain by drones, though.
Yeah.
Or ran over.
We'll have to
stay tuned for that.
We'll have to talk about that later. Anyways, so welcome to the show, and we're going to go on to our first segment, the news. And I'll open with Heavily Delusion's got a new trailer, and it's coming out this next season, April 1st.
That's one on my list. I'll be watching that one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be watching that one too.
It's just super funny to me how that it's kind of been like a thing within us three anyway.
Yeah.
For probably 3 years now. I mean, you bought that manga probably 3 years ago.
When I first bought the manga, I was like, what the heck is this? And I read it. It's like, whoa. This is cool.
If you're actually curious more about it, we did a video on our main channel about a random manga haul where we each bought a random manga we'd never heard about and essentially read it and did a little mini review on it as well.
We never did the sequel where we buy each other random.
So I'm curious though. So Thane got Heavily Delusions. Obviously, he still kept going with it.
Yeah.
I got Beauty and the Feast, and I still kept going with mine. I don't even remember what you got, but I guarantee you haven't kept it.
Mine was...
It's like the plant monster or something.
Yeah. It's like a lot of... what's his name? He does like the Cthulhu. What's that dude's name?
Junji Ito?
No.
H.P. Lovecraft?
H.P. Lovecraft. It's a lot of Lovecraftian stuff. It's called Perham Eton or something like that. I never knew exactly how to say the name. Yeah. There's 2 volumes released in English. They never went farther in English. Wouldn't know where to begin to reading it online.
That was Tokyo Pop, right? So
yeah, that was Tokyo Pop. So that's partly why I never got more. I read the first volume. Thought it was just okay. Never picked up volume 2.
Yeah.
Nice.
Spoiler, I guess, if you haven't seen that video now that I'm thinking about it.
It's 3 years old.
But yeah, Heavenly Delusions. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
I'm excited to give it a shot anyway.
But some bad news with the good. It's licensed by Disney.
Yeah, so what does that mean? Hulu and
Disney Plus. If we get on Hulu,
I bet it'll be on Hulu.
We might have to wait for the dub, but...
Oh, yeah, like summertime rendering.
Yeah. But, hey, there's always other sites. I don't even pay for Hulu.
Because you pay for Disney. Good job. What a good person over there.
I'm a good person. I
used to pay for Hulu.
Yeah.
When I would pay for Spotify. Yeah. I don't pay for Spotify anymore though. So
converted.
Yep.
I think honestly Disney should just simulcast on Hulu all their anime. I'm not even sure if they're going to do it for Heavily Delusions. I'm guaranteed not. The reason they only did for Bleach because Bleach is mega popular. And yeah.
I bet they do. I bet they do with this one anyway. I'm kind of expecting them to at this point. I think they kind of really did it with Bleach, and that was kind of like their beginning to really do it more.
The reason I say maybe not is because it is still kind of an obscure one. More like the manga's not popular, but it is production IG and it looks beautiful, so maybe.
And if not, just remember that the internet is a wide, varying place with many things on it.
Good luck.
Tell Disney, hey,
go after the One Piece.
Stuff. Yeah.
I believe in you.
Jack, some of your inner Jack
Sparrow. The One Piece is real.
The One Piece is real. Speaking of news, one of the other things I saw was To Your Eternity is getting a season 3, and honestly, good for it. I didn't necessarily love the show. I think I watched, honestly, 5 episodes. I watched a good amount of it. I could see why it would be entertaining, but for me, it just wasn't doing it for me.
I might watch it for the season, coming up, whatever season's gonna...
You love picking shows that are getting, a season 3 and then trying to binge them before it and then not actually doing it and then binging them during the actual season.
Yeah. I was watching. I'm still watching Vinland Saga. I binged that real fast.
There you go.
I never really binged My Hero because My Hero is kind of a slog to watch through when you already know what's going on.
Honestly, that's the key to it, right? If you already know what's happening in the manga, My Hero is very kind of not great.
I've been entertained by My Hero, but there's just a lot of not very good. With all the really good stuff. It's really good, but all the light and fluffy stuff, it's been
it really is just one of those.
I hope that Korokoshi, when he makes his next manga, I hope it's just dark stuff because he's good with that.
It's really just one of those that you do it once and you're good. Yeah. You don't need multiple versions of it.
Like Attack on Titan, I know Attack on Titan's amazing, but I haven't really watched the anime. I haven't caught because I've read the manga. And it's kind of disappointed with the ending. I did like the bonus chapter they had afterwards though, but. That last chapter was took the wind out of me. It's oh.
I like the ending.
Yeah.
That's my hot take. I like the ending.
It just felt kind of rushed and kind of confusing. I was and I was kind of underwhelmed. How I read it was that's it? I didn't really feel
I feel like most shonens have the same issue though.
It didn't
where
emotionally
they try to wrap
connect
up a bunch
with
of
me.
Stuff quickly.
It didn't just emotionally connect with me. It didn't hit me.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
It's sorry. Maybe next time, Isaiah. But I will read your next series if it has a good premise.
Isayama?
Sorry. Isaiah.
I thought you said Messiah.
He's our Messiah.
He's our savior.
I heard Isaiah.
The rumbling is coming.
Going back and speaking of My Hero Academia, Horikoshi's taking a 2-week break right now because of health reasons, which good for him. Please keep taking these breaks long because to stick it to your publishers and
to not die.
Not die. We don't want you dying.
Eiichiro, he's been doing it long enough. He takes a break every 3rd chapter because he's old and stuff. And also the guy who does Hunter x Hunter, they took a hiatus recently to actually make sure he doesn't die.
It seems like their current schedule with him right now is a lot better than what it was prior. Because I imagine it the way it seemed when they wanted stuff from Hunter x Hunter, they'd go to his door and be like, "Okay, give us 10 chapters so we can make a volume when we're done." And now it seems like he's able to do just a chapter whenever he can get to it, which is good. I honestly do think the manga industry is kind of changing for the better in that aspect, but I think it's still got a lot of work to go.
I mean, they did allow the guy who wrote Ruri Dragon to take a break after 1 volume. So
yeah, totally. And I think that's also good. I'm curious to see whenever that does come back, if it ever does come back, how it will do after being gone for so long. But
I feel like, just to kind of elaborate, and granted this is me just basing off of the past and the present with how they make shows as well, and I'm sure manga has changed, but maybe it wasn't as intensive because it's a conversation we've had where back in the day when you got something that was really popular, that's what you did once a week, every week you're writing and you have to hit these deadlines, whereas now I feel like it's a little more loose, and also to to me, it feels like they're giving the creators more time to create something better. So it's not necessarily about the quantity of making sure that we get something out every week, but about the quality as well. Because even like you look at something like My Hero, where they're not doing episodes every freaking week, like as opposed to something like Naruto.
They're not? Oh,
forever
for seasonal.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a seasonal show. Yeah. Okay. I was just like, it's not coming out every week.
No. Sorry, I needed to clarify.
Yeah, I got it.
But like shonen's like Naruto or Boruto, where it's like, yeah, every week something's coming out, and that's just the way it is. Whereas something like My Hero or even Attack on Titan, these really popular shows, they don't have as many episodes. Granted, they still have a lot, but they're not required to stick to these egregious deadlines that I think does cause lots of health issues. Now, I don't know if the manga industry is the same, but a lot of the manga that I've been reading, and obviously I've only gotten into it within like the last 3 years, but it seems like people take breaks. Like Akka's a good example, and maybe not everybody gets the schedule Akka gets, but it seems like he's always taking breaks.
Tatsuki Fujimoto, I don't know if he needs breaks, but he'll take them anyways, probably for creative process. Like
seems like he can do whatever once.
He'll have some chapters be like week by week, and then he'll do bi-weekly.
And I think a lot of this, what we brought up, though, is a lot of just, like, the prolific creators, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm always just, like, trying to look out for the little guys, you know? The people that aren't making these super high-end prolific mangas that are probably getting pushed every single week by their publishers. That's what I'm nervous and worried about, I guess, rather. Anyway, I've got a couple more news things I just looked up real quick. None of us watched this show because it was also coming out this season. What's called The Eminence in Shadow. I've seen the Gigig video, and it looks like it's one of the trashiest isekai, like Warzone Sword Art Online kind of stuff. And it's getting a season 2. That was announced. It's getting a
probably
season 2.
because people have like watched it like a good, like a funny bad show, and like
oh totally
yeah,
like what was that one that came out a couple years ago that everybody memed on but kept watching it? It's like a night, and there's a bunch of horny chicks.
Oh, Peter Grill.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just like, I don't know where you're going.
Did that get a
that's
season
a lot
2?
of different.
Thank you, Thane.
Did that
I don't
get
know,
a season 2?
I don't know.
It did. It did. It definitely did.
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah, it's because everyone kept memeing on it, and then they watched it, and it's like, why are you watching this?
Yeah.
It's kind of like when the Emoji Movie came out. Like, it actually made, I think it still bombed, but it did make a little bit of a profit because everyone said, like, well, let's see how bad this is. And it's like, no, don't see how bad this is. Do not support this.
More stuff. The Demon Slayer, quote-unquote, movie thing that happened did really, really well, as expected.
Oh, yeah, like they aired an
It's like the season 2 recap in episode 1 of the next season, which comes out in the... What is the next season? Spring season of anime.
Also, I was going to watch that, but I've read the manga. Maybe I'll watch the anime sometime.
That's one of those ones.
Yeah.
As much as I was saying, like, My Hero is only like a one medium kind of thing.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer is like, if you even slightly enjoyed the manga, you probably should watch the anime.
It's
that much better.
And I won't have to watch a movie because
I shouldn't say better, but
because they already put it in the entire anime.
Yeah. The next thing I have is a show called Surgeon Elise. Oh no, I brought this one up last week, didn't I? Or last time? I'm almost positive I did because it's a manhwa. It's getting an anime. I thought I brought that one up or not, but anyway. And then another one. It's called Shy. Don't know anything about it, but it's getting an anime.
Isn't that the one about the superhero about how her powers are shyness? She uses
probably.
Yeah, I think I've heard about this manga, and like the front character is really cute, and I was like, oh wow, she's really cute. And I look it up, it's like, oh, it's lewd, it's an ecchi. Oh no.
Oh geez, is it really?
Yeah, I think so.
Ooh. And then the final thing that I had, I guess I got two final things. The first one is that Frieren got another little TV promotion thing. It's going to be coming out in fall of this year, so that'll be a fun one. I'm very excited for that anime. And then the last thing that I have is that Uncle from Another World finally got its episode 13 and was able to wrap up its first season. Ended on a slight bit of a tease for potential more in the future, although the season 2 is not confirmed. I would love it if it is, though. I quite enjoyed that show, even through its rough production time. Super, super fun.
Was it 3 anime seasons to get finished?
Yeah.
So it was when we first started the podcast?
Yep.
We've been doing this for almost a year, by the way.
Oh yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. I started that show with our first like couple episodes of this podcast.
That's crazy.
And I finally got to finish it. Granted, I read the manga after a while because I just gave up, but I was finally able to finish it, and it was quite good. I still really enjoy it. The characters are so freaking fun. The acting was surprisingly good too in this last episode. It was just like, good stuff. Watch that show. It's a good one. I highly recommend it.
That's cool. I think the only thing I wanted to bring up was and I don't think they shadow dropped it, but I don't know because I did not hear anything about it until you brought it up. Was Attack on Titan that episode dropped?
Yeah, I think it was about a month ago. They said it's gonna be up March 3rd.
Okay.
And then like a week before it came out, they said it's gonna be a 1 hour long episode, and that's what it's gonna be until the next 1 hour long episode for the end of the series.
Yeah, I guess I just wasn't paying attention because I saw no promotion for it. I remember you mentioned something, and then Moist Critical dropped a video talking about it. I'm like, he was talking about the episode. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not out. And I'm like, wait, no, it's out. It's out. It's really good. I know Thane already talked a little bit about Attack on Titan. I have not read the manga, so this is all new for me, but I have to wait, was it another 6 months for
Something
the
like that,
final episode?
I haven't seen it, the hour-long special. Was it pretty dang close to movie quality because it was an hour long and more focused?
Yeah, I mean,
or did it seem like just an elongated TV show episode?
It felt different. It didn't,
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't feel just like it to me anyway. I mean, comparing it to like something like the Demon Slayer movie. Granted, I haven't seen a lot of anime movies, but the Demon Slayer movie is just
still
like
top.
Still
What video
peak for
does he
me.
talk about it in? Because
I don't know. You'd have to look it up.
Just
is
probably
he just
did his
like
own video.
slip it
on it.
in like
No,
a
he
video?
made its own video.
Okay.
He makes videos literally like 3 a day or something like that.
Yeah.
And 2 a day, like, but I didn't know what. Did he like clickbait the
Too
title?
much.
Did he put Attack on Titan in the title?
It might have been.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
I don't see it. Because from what his uploads, I haven't seen.
I can look it up for you
Yeah.
if you were curious.
Yeah, that's what I was just wondering, though, because I've always been in the camp of they should have just made the ending of the Attack on Titan series as a movie.
Yeah.
I've always thought that's what they should have done. And even more so now that they're doing these 2 hour-long episodes to end the series, I'm even more so in the camp that these probably should have just been a movie that released like in December of this year.
Yeah. In
Like-
fact, it probably will get a special movie screening.
It probably
Yeah.
will, but and I don't know. I don't know why they didn't do it personally, because like it just makes sense. Like movies, anime movies specifically, are hot right now. I feel like that would make so much money in the box offices. Like I don't know why they're doing it.
Mappa themselves did one with
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Zero.
Well, and I feel like if the Demon Slayer, granted, Demon Slayer is kind of on a whole new level, but still, they just released a couple episodes and put that in the movie theater and it did really well.
Well, it's interesting because it's like a compilation of season 2's like last arc, because they did the 2 arcs in season 2, and then I think it was literally just
The first
one
episode.
from the season 3.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I don't know if I brought this up ever on the show, but they did this for Attack on Titan season 3 way back in the day.
I remember you might have not mentioned it on the show, but I remember you and Thick talking about it with me.
In like 2018 or something like that. I went to it with my buddies, and like I was all like, "Oh shoot, this is gonna be cool." And one of my buddies binged the entire series because he was all excited to watch it with us. We get there, and it's literally just a recap up until the point, and he's sitting there like, I just watched this. I literally spent the last 2 days watching all of this. You don't need to recap it right now.
See, I think it might be more for people like Thick who hadn't even seen season 2, and he goes in, he's like, yeah, it's great, got a recap, got the new episode.
Yep.
But in my brain, that's kind of how I felt, was like, I'm not going to go pay money for just one new episode. I've already seen it. Granted, that's probably the definitive way to watch anime, is on a giant screen.
When I did the Attack on Titan one, I thought we were going to get more of season 3. I thought they're going to give us a couple episodes or something. I thought it was going to be like an hour long or hour and a half long, like intro to the season, not an hour and a half recap and then one episode.
Yeah.
Also, the theater smelt as you would expect. Wear deodorant, everybody.
It probably should have just had a brief recap and then like 3 episodes, like if they're gonna put it in a movie.
That's what I would have. That's what would have been my ideal. But
yeah,
it is what it is.
So then I found the video. He titled it "Attack on Titan is finally ending." But what's funny is he talks about he goes through same stuff everybody does, but he was complaining about the titles. He's like, "Why are we?"
I know it's bad as Kingdom Hearts by this point. Kingdom Hearts, at least they're like trying to be all weird and creative, but this is just a cluster. It's just like Attack on Titan, the final season,
Part
final
one.
part
one.
TV special one. That's
love
the
that they're
actual
leaning into
time.
it. I absolutely love that they're just leaning into how
Yeah.
dumb it is too. It makes me laugh every time. I think that's the news though. Unless you had anything else, guys.
This final season's taking forever.
Fly Me to the Moon got another trailer for season 2.
Oh yeah, it did. I never watched the anime. I just read the manga. You watched it, didn't you?
So I watched the anime first. I watched
Oh.
season 1. It was during my my romance addiction phase.
Any
And that
news
was
on
one of them.
Ranking of Kings?
I didn't think that was getting another season.
Oh,
I thought they had ended that one.
It kind of ends on an open ending, but there's more in the
Oh.
manga. So
The final thing I wanted to say, this is more so just me. I don't know if these guys will do anything like that. I don't know. I guess you're doing high card. So at the end of the season, this will be our last episode before our our winter. I hate the season names. I just mix them up in my head all the time. This will be our last episode before the winter recap that we do, and during this time we don't do a watch along episode. And so I like to take during this time. I like to take one of the seasonal shows that came out this season and just binge the whole thing. And for me, I picked, I guess like last time it was Bocchi the Rock. This time I'm picking The Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess and the Genius Young Lady. And the reason I'm picking this is because it looks like Lycoris Recoil but fantasy.
is it eerie?
People are like, yeah, they're gay, right?
Yeah, girls.
And so yeah, and people have said it looks like it's fun or it is fun or something. If it's not this show that I'm actually thinking of, then I might not do this one. But I feel like I'm already committed this far into it, so like I kind of got to do it. So
What's that be your favorite one of the season?
it very well could be. I mean, Bocchi the Rock was basically last season.
True. But Bocchi, I guess you said that one got high praise, didn't it?
Yeah, this one got high praise. This one was another one very similar, same situation as Bocchi, where I saw memes all the way throughout the season of it just popping up here and there and people talking about it, and I didn't really look into it until now. So,
yeah, my binge one, like Cole was saying, is going to be High Card, just because both these guys have talked about it. They said it's really fun, and I also really like the intro. It was very was it outro?
both of them,
Outro.
dude.
Both?
Yeah.
Both of them. The outro's the one I
Pretty
showed you
good.
specifically, but the intro's
Yeah,
pretty good
The
too.
outro was that 70s show. They're vibing in a car.
Oh,
Dude, they're
Although-
vibing.
Though I will admit, I do have a gripe about it. 2 of the characters are very underdeveloped, and I wish they had more development.
Agreed.
Yeah, and also
Season 2?
Also, some of the episodes are just straight up stupid, like the one with the girl who like
Spoilers,
touches people. to
spoilers.
kill-
No, I like that episode. That episode's good.
I thought it was kind
Episode
of.
after that wasn't as good in my
Yeah.
opinion, but that episode was
I thought
fun.
the one
I
was
liked
stupid.
It.
I thought the one that attached together was just
Just
really
plug it,
dumb.
yes,
It was
guy.
like a Family Guy bit.
Oh, it was so funny.
Yeah.
I love that episode. That episode was great. You're gonna like it. That's
Yeah.
a Skylar episode. If I
Yeah,
ever
it's
seen
probably
one.
more Skylar.
No, it's me too.
Yeah.
I like it as well.
I haven't seen the latest episode, but
It came out today. I haven't seen
yeah.
it yet either today.
But it's pretty fun so far. It's not like mind blowing. Like maybe I'm not into it as Cole or maybe Sky will be, but like it's fun watch.
Honestly, that leads me into like just talking about this season
Yeah.
before we get to the actual recap. Like, for me, this season was kind of weak overall.
A lot of winter seasons are pretty weak. I mean, it's like the January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just super weird for me because like a couple of these shows I was very excited for right at the beginning, but as they progressed, I kind of started falling off of them. Like even High Card to an extent. Like I haven't even seen the latest episode today. I'm a couple episodes behind on some of my other shows, for
Yeah.
example. And it's just I don't know why. They weren't hitting as hard as they did. Granted, my favorites are still my favorites, and my dumpies are still basically my dumpies in the middle of the pack are still the middle of the pack. So that's not really changed. Save for one, I know I dumped on Spy Classroom early on, and I stand by that dumping early on.
Yeah.
But the last couple episodes have been pretty dang good. Honestly, real talk, they've not been bad. They've been pretty good.
See, I think the problem is the best anime of the season's Last of Us.
Wow.
I will say I've heard mixed things about the most recent episode that we have yet to watch.
The season finale.
Lovely.
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh no, indeed.
Oh no.
So
Okay, well up to episode 8. Best
Really
anime.
good.
Do they change things?
Yes.
I don't
I'll have
know.
to-
They have.
Overall they've
yeah.
changed things here and
Yeah,
there, but the
but,
main
like, do they
plot's still the
ma-
same.
Do they make? But I wonder if they majorly changed things in episode 9.
I asked my boss. He said they didn't majorly change things, just the way they went about doing things. He wasn't
like
huge
the execution for the
that's without. I don't know any spoilers, so I really can't spoil anything. That's just all I've heard.
All right. So for my binge show, it's not gonna be Eddie for this season. I'm being a deviant. I'm gonna go watch Evangelion.
Or you're gonna say I'm gonna be a gangster?
Yeah, be gangsta and watch Evangelion because I haven't seen it. I've always wanted to see it. It's always that show that's been in meme culture for years, and it's like, I'll watch this show.
Are you gonna watch End of Evangelion as well?
Yeah, I will. And also maybe I'll watch Death and Rebirth just to be a silly goose.
Don't bother with those.
It's just a recap.
It's a recap.
Yeah.
You only need to watch the entire series and then End of Evangelion.
Okay.
I mean, there are some small things in those other movies that they added in, but they're so minuscule that you really don't need to watch it.
Although this is the same guy who watched 2 3-hour recap movies on like Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex before he watched the regular movie. Because I like Standalone Complex that much, but...
Hey, if you end up really liking Evangelion and you want more Evangelion content, might as well, right?
Yeah. Or I could just rewatch Rebirth.
Yeah.
I'll probably rewatch those just to see how they compare afterwards.
That's basically how I did it. It was pretty fun.
And yeah, on the season, Dumpies are still Dumpies, dropped are still dropped, and my favorite show is the one about Vikings who farm.
Yeah,
they're in the farming season, eh?
Yeah.
I'm with you, Cole. This, of all of the seasons, our 3 seasons so far, this has been the weakest for me as well. Like, Nagatoro's fun, but I've also read the manga, so I already know.
At least with like rom-coms, even though you've read the manga, they still work.
Yeah.
They still work as an animated thing.
Well, and it brings like another layer of immersion, though, because you get to hear it, you hear the characters, you get to feel their emotions, plus the music, and Nagatoro's pretty good. So.
Here's the best thing about Tomo-chan. It's one of the 2. I dropped one rom-com, but that one I still kept watching. It's based off a manga that ended, and the whole show was later adapted later. That one's short. When a rom-com is short, it works really well. And this one's just goofy and fun. So I think the shorter the better. It doesn't overstay its welcome. A lot
talking about you, Comey can't communicate.
Yeah.
Oof.
Talk about you, Rent a Girlfriend. I never watched either. I watched some episodes of Comey,
the last chapter I actually liked.
Yeah, I'm very indifferent to Rent a Girlfriend right now. I'm very much so in the camp of like, right now I'm feeling like it's probably okay if you binge it. Say you binge the entire thing, you'd probably love the entire thing. But Comey can't communicate. Gosh dang, is that so boring. Holy freak. I don't know how anybody's still doing it. I mean, I'm still doing it, so I don't know how I'm doing it. But I'll forget about chapters. Like, the chapters will be like 3 or 4 chapters, and I'm that far behind, and I just binge them all in like a couple seconds, because I don't care to read the words in that manga anymore. They just don't. Anyway, Skylar's turn.
You were the chosen one, blue box.
Yeah.
Blue box.
Of all the shows I'm watching, I can think of maybe 2 that I'm like, yeah, I actually look forward to watching these, and one of those is Buddy Daddies, but that's also just Spy Family, but different.
Yeah.
And Spy Family's good and better, but Buddy Daddies is fun.
Manga is incredible.
For Buddy Daddies?
No, Spy Family.
Oh, I was just like, there's a manga? I'm basically the same way. Mine's High Card and then Ningen Fushin. Adventurers who don't care about humanity will save the world. Although that anime's completely gone away from what most people thought it was, and most people don't like where it is now. I'm very much okay with it, though. I feel like it's one of those series that's probably got a lot of room to run. I don't know if there'll be an anime season 2, though, which is unfortunate. Maybe if I'll have to read the manga or something to continue, because the way it's looking now, I don't think there's going to be a season 2. Although I am enjoying it. What's that face, Thane? I see you over there just putting a big old grin on.
I don't know. I'm just smiling.
I'm just, yeah. I mean, that's basically the shows we're watching. That's kind of like the mini recap. I don't have anything else to say about my shows. You'll get the full experience about our shows in the next episode.
Yeah, it'll be 2 weeks out. So
2 weeks out from now, the I keep wanting to say fall, the winter 2023 recap.
We get more Vinland Saga next season. And Gundam comes back. and Golden Kamuy comes back.
Wait, that's next season though.
Yeah.
Could have been hyped about next season.
We haven't finished this season.
We gotta finish this season first, Thane.
But so much stuff has got to slap
That's
next season.
That's how excited he is about this season. He's just hyping himself up for the next
Real
season.
talk, next season looks good though.
Yeah.
Oh,
honestly.
I've already got a whole bunch added to my
That's
watch
so
list.
many.
Freaking Heavenly Delusions, Gundam, Golden Kamuy, Vinland Saga,
Demon Slayer's back.
Demon Slayer.
Slayer's back. There's a few. I'd have to look at my Al
Yeah, I'd have to look at those. I've got a bunch of shows that I don't think I'd ever really would have watched it anyway. I just felt like I wanted to pick a bunch this time. I feel like every season I'm picking more and more shows. Like the first season, I think I picked like 7 shows. The next season, I picked like 9 shows. This season, I feel like I picked like 9 to 10, 11 shows. Next season, I think it's gonna be like 12 to 14. It's bad, and I'm gonna start to drop some, I'm sure, but
Yeah, I'm picking
Freaking
more
Hell's
too.
Paradise is coming this. Oh my
gosh, I'm excited for that.
That
one.
one's on my list too.
Makes me still sad that his weekly Shonen Jump show got canceled, but oh well.
Makes me sad that I never finished collecting the manga before the anime came out.
Yeah.
Is
I
it
mean-
finished? Like the manga's
Yeah.
done? Oh man. Okay,
mean,
if
did
the
Viz
season's really
release
good,
all
then
of
I'll
them?
finish it. I'll just read the manga if I
Did
really
Viz
like the
release
anime.
all of them?
Yeah, there's only 13 volumes. I have up to 5. I just never bought any else past 5.
It's funny, they're working on both that and Vinland Saga. It's gonna be interesting.
Mappa?
Yeah.
I didn't know they were doing Hell's Paradise.
Yeah, they're doing both.
Mappa, leave shows for other studios.
Yeah, I know. I know you're good, but
You guys are crazy.
I'll watch. I like
I'm
it.
not saying I won't watch. but
well, we're gonna take a break. we gotta move on to the next segment, which is gonna be
Vivy.
but we're gonna take a quick break, and after the jump, we'll be back to talk about AI.
Ready?
Oh, my spine.
Was that you falling back in
Yeah.
from your jump?
Yeah.
No,
You jump out of a
You have
plane?
to actually.
Yeah.
We kind of did. He went,
Oh, he was like skydiving.
Yeah, skydiving.
Yeah. I'm too lazy to just actually do the motion thing.
You just did.
Yeah.
He got you. Good job, Sky.
He got himself.
Way to go. We got him. We got
It
him,
wasn't
coach.
very convincing. All it just was like, eh.
Look,
He did it again. He did it again.
Venom's laughing over there at you.
Dude,
Thane.
Venom, you crazy guy.
Yeah. Can't even see him on the camera. Silly goose.
He's there.
Silly Billy.
Always watching.
So, guys,
We're back.
and we're talking about a show called Vivy, Fluorite Ice Song, which is a bit relevant today. I mean, back then
Surprisingly relevant, honestly. I didn't expect it to be as relevant
I
as it
think
was.
the show came out 2019, 2020, and AI was like, yeah, it's there. And then in 2022, suddenly, AI just skyrockets with freaking art.
I feel like AI
prompts.
it anytime you hear about AI, it's even more relevant, and there's just more of it. I feel like because like you're right, you heard about AI a little bit a couple years ago, but now it's like AI is advancing so fast.
I want to point out one thing. And really quick, this will be a major spoiler for the show. So if you have not seen the show, if you have not seen the show already, then you don't want spoilers. I don't know why you're listening at this point.
You already know the show.
You already should know.
Spoiling the show we talk about since episode 1.
So the relevancy between this show and what we're going through right now in real life is hilariously paralleled. Because everybody's talking about AI being able to create their own stuff, whether it be art, music, and so on.
Yeah.
And literally the reason why a bunch of AIs just went rogue and started killing people is because an AI actually created their own thing.
Yeah. Created a song.
And then became the chosen one.
It's super funny how that's all relevant to what it is nowadays. So maybe we should have done AI, start making things, because they're just going to kill us all in the end if they do.
And the funny thing is that they turned like a beautiful song, but when they all hum, it's like,
it's so scary sounding.
It's very
such a chant. It's like
it's very off key.
Yeah.
Ominous.
The AI are not tuned to sing.
Feels like if you're playing with Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
It's very. There's a lot
on
of
the third day.
There's
third day.
There's a lot of.
Me.
They use dissonance. They have a lot of dissonance in that song. I mean, we'll get to it because I do have notes about that
Thank you,
specifically.
You're the music champ. All right.
I'm glad we have you, Sky.
Let's do a quick plot summary.
So
in the future, AI went rampant.
Wait, what year did it start in?
I don't remember.
It was like
24 something, 2400.
No, I thought it was 2050 something.
How
hard is it to Google search, Cole? You're
a few hundred years, like a few centuries into the future, AI is really advanced, and it also goes haywire and starts killing people. So a scientist decides to put a little program, send a program back in time to connect to one of the oldest AI, like the oldest advanced AI, and send it back. And her name is Diva.
Apparently, it's a lot harder than I thought.
Yeah. And just look at Vivy timeline. And
genius thing.
Yeah. And Vivy's only purpose is to make people happy with their song. And AI can only do one task, pretty much. That's how they kind of determined it.
2056.
2056.
Right.
Oh.
It ends in 2161.
Oh. So it's only a few decades.
It lasts over the course of about 100 years, a little over 100 years.
Anyways, long story short, a robot named Matsumoto tells him, hey, we gotta start your 100 years journey to save the world. And first she's skeptical, but he's like, oh yeah, go save this guy. And she does, and it's well, maybe the AI, we do need to defeat the AI.
Matsumoto's a homie.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
He was my favorite character.
100%.
Yeah.
So good.
He's kind of like the exposition. We're kind of Vivy, the watcher, just watching, and Matsumoto's like the explanation guy.
He's Navi, but good.
Yeah.
I was about to say that. Good call. More Zelda references.
And so there's several story arcs that start where it's oh, you have to divert the branch line, but not too much. Oh, you can't save that girl, and you're only fanning the plane.
Oh my gosh, how effing sad. Ugh. My heart just started wrenching when I saw that one. And it's so beautifully animated too. You see the fire falling. Oh, why did they try so hard on that Wit Studio? Why? You're making me cry.
And so as she goes through several time differences, she suffers major traumas. She sees a guy who shot himself in front of it and kind of shuts down, makes a new personality. And then the final arc, the AI comes up, and then she has to defeat them, but she fails. But then the scientist she saved is still alive, and he reloops it. And then she lets him die in this timeline and saves the other people and defeats AI. But she kind of shuts down too. Until the post-credit scene where a new her comes back. But it's not the same, but it's still Vivy. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, she was called Vivy by the fan.
The original fan that died in the airplane.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, I like that name.
Why did she goes by Vivy?
I don't know.
No reason for it, just cause.
It's a cute nickname.
Yeah, maybe it's just a little kid.
Yeah.
Instead of saying diva, I don't know, came up with.
So she kind of she kind of has two personalities. Okay. One is diva and one is Vivy. You'd have to watch the show to understand it. It's hard to explain, but
hopefully you've seen the show. You can follow along the conversation.
But yeah, it was okay. It was very there was a lot of acclaim behind it. A lot of people saying praises for it. Haha. But it was, I don't know, maybe it doesn't hit the same as it did a few years ago. After all, I know some shows can age like milk in a year.
I think that there's, and we're gonna dive into it. I think there's parts that are really good about the show.
Yeah.
But most of it is not, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I basically have a sum up sentence, which is, the overarching story is very interesting, but the side stories are not as interesting.
Yeah.
And the overarching story of just the idea of an AI preventing future AI from killing a bunch of humans is super cool and super unique and interesting. But the way they go about getting to that point is a little rough, and it's got a little bit of moments that I'm just okay.
Yeah, it's kind of it's like a really beautiful looking bridge, but you realize the bridge is kind of made of cheap wood painted with rainbows.
Love this analogy. It's great.
Yeah. Painted with rainbows.
So
don't worry, there's a safety net at the bottom. So
let me talk about the good of the show. Yeah. I guess rather we can all just talk about the good of the show before we really get into I guess, our issues with it.
Yeah.
The first good thing I want to bring up is just the fighting choreography. All of the fights look phenomenal. They look really dang good. You can tell they actually tried really hard to make the fights look very visually appealing and fluid and all of the above. Very good job with their fight scenes. I thought it was extra cool because it was mostly hand-to-hand combat with little to no extra technological magic power stuff. So cool stuff. Good, very much so enjoyed that. Every now and then there was just a banger of a line, an absolute hilarious freaking line. But my number one favorite line, it comes from the little robot buddy Matsumoto, who says, "I have no reason to be a bot block." That killed me. I'm literally watching in my room, and Skylar just hears me just start dying in my freaking chair.
Like when I was sitting down, I knew that part was coming out, so I just had like this freaking poop eating grin on my face, waiting for your reaction.
It was just super funny because like I heard it, and then it took like honestly, there was like a second or a 2 second like break of me processing what he had said, and then I died. And I think you probably noticed that there was like a weird delay between that.
Mine was very similar, and the problem is it's two AI talking to each other, and there's no response, there's no visual look.
They just do whatever.
Vivy doesn't really care. Matsumoto's like, I just cracked a joke. No one's laughing.
Nobody cares about my joke. Don't worry, Matsumoto. I was laughing. I was literally dying in my chair. And then the final like main point that I wanted to bring up that I personally thought was really good was the overarching plot, like I brought up just a second ago. The fact that you have this AI who's traveling through time, and you get to see through all these different ages of time, essentially preparing to prevent a future problem with AI. So essentially fixing a problem that her race creates or something. It's super cool, super interesting to me. And those last 4 episodes, effing killer. Those last 4 episodes, straight fire. So good. Super, super, super good. The reveal of the little boy that's like coming to see her throughout his entire life being Matsumoto. Oh my gosh, I died. I was like, no way. Skylar was hearing me too. He's just sitting there kind of like listening from across the hallway. I'm just like, ah!
Yeah, because for me that hit even more, and granted that just hits for anybody watching the show, but it hits because Diva and Matsumoto become buddies.
Oh yeah,
and he's the one that sends her back in time.
The one that did it for
so
him.
it's like, dang man,
so freaking cool. I absolutely loved it. And then like, I'll remind me to bring up Matsumoto again, the actual person, not the AI, right when we get to the end, so I can loop into the bad stuff, or what you guys can talk about what you thought was good too. But yeah, just those last 4 episodes, honestly, I thought the plot was good. I thought the ending was pretty dang good, too. Very satisfying, in my opinion. And it felt natural. It felt the flow. The stakes were high, and they didn't have, like, any get-out-of-jail-free cards. Like, things happened the way they happened, and they couldn't really take that stuff back. Very cool. Very good stuff. Yeah. So that's those... overall, that's what I thought was great about the show. I've got one more thing that I think was good, but it's a really good segue into what was bad about the show, so we'll wait for that one. So what do you think, Thane? What was so good about the show for you?
Yeah, I like the fight scenes, like the music. I like the one part where she's like performing a song, and then like it seamlessly plays into the opening.
Oh my gosh, that's episode 5. I have that written down too. Yeah, that's such a good scene.
It's like, wow, that's cool. The opening's all right.
It's not the greatest, but that made it good for me right there.
And then also the ending is just kind of a piano medley. It's weird. They didn't have the lyrics to it because there is lyrics at the end, but they didn't have. I don't know why they didn't have the lyrics. But yeah, I like the animation. I like the little journey. Maybe not some of the stops, but the journey's all right.
The idea of the journey was cool.
Yeah, the journey. And yeah, the what is it? I don't remember. I liked robot action fighting. I thought maybe this could have done better as a movie, like if they kind of truncated the plot,
or even a video game.
Or a video game. Yeah, I actually said earlier, and where we were talking in the car, this probably could make a great video game,
like one branching past, and like a light novel, right?
Like Detroit, like Detroit Become Human, kind of with action. 28 stab wounds. Saw that video today. I wanted to bring up that meme.
Do you see him? Yeah. He's right there. Thane, hurry.
Get a fabric softener.
No, don't throw your phone.
Get a fabric.
Where is it? What are you crushing with your foot? There. Oh, it's dead? Okay. Good.
One of us about just got Peter Parker, dude.
Oh my gosh. I didn't like know what you were freaking out about. I thought you were freaking out about something else, and I look over at you, and just the absolute.
Yeah, they looked over there.
You like freaked out and said it's right there still. Yeah, right there. You like freaked out and like made a noise, and I thought you were reacting to something that Thane had said. And so I look over and I see the sheer terror in your face, and I'm just like, oh no, what's happening? I look over and I just follow your gaze, and it's right in front of my face. I hope the camera could pick that up because that was frightening as all get out, dude.
That clip's gonna go viral when you make a short out of that.
I'll do it. I have to. I was gonna start making shorts with this episode. This is gonna be the episode. So
well, there's a good first one.
Now you know that we all have a fear of spiders, arachnophobia.
Like when you looked there, I looked over there. It's like ah. What?
Yeah, I
remember when there's a big one right over there. I don't remember. He like ran over there. I hope he's not behind there, but
he's probably one of these dead bodies.
Yeah, it's like I hate spiders.
It's so funny how like this arachnophobia is a thing that we all have. Who has it the worst though? You think Thane's got it the worst? He's the one willing to kill him.
Oh God, I saw a video like of a spider coming out of a banana. And
my God.
It's like, what's going to come out of the banana? And I see legs come out. I go, ah! Ah!
Okay, I have no idea where we were with our conversation.
Oh, my gosh. I was talking about how Vivy would be better as a video game.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking like maybe like a visual novel or something. Yeah, 28 stab.
Yeah. Okay. It is written by the guy who did ReZero, the light novel guy.
Oh.
Yeah, so could be, but I think as an anime, it's all right. There are some sometimes I watch a 13-episode anime. I'm like, that would be better. Like one that I might pick. I don't know if it's on any streaming sites called Tokyo Mad 2.0. It's like that was a good show. Probably would have been better as a movie, but a good show.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. I think this could have done really good as a movie. I think it would have been a fine movie.
So my favorite things, and Thane mentioned a couple of them, is I loved the art style. I thought the art style was really fun. It's very colorful, but they also used to depict whatever, like if it's in the future.
The internal brain thing, too.
Yeah, or the internal brain thing. They used different art styles to kind of depict that. One that was always jarring for me, and I don't know if I hate it or love it, was when they would do like those
hyper detail,
the surreal frames where it's like
that was. So I realized about halfway through what those actually were. I personally don't like them. I thought there
is one part where there's one part where it's like had a little timer up there and like a coordinates thing. I thought that was on the video. Like there was some setting that popped up. It's
like, no, yeah, that's the virus that's uploading.
Yeah, it's like how do I get rid of this? What the heck is this? And then only find out when she moves slightly, the coordinates change. It's like it's part of the.
So that like art style, the super like close up on their face, hyper realistic almost. I don't like it personally, but I realized what they used it for. They essentially used it for moments that they wanted to remind you that you're looking at an AI. Yeah. Because they made them look plasticky.
Yeah.
They did it for all like multiple different AIs. They never did it for people, and if they did, it was that one guy who essentially had transferred his mind into the body of an AI, so you could see that he is an AI now.
Yeah,
essentially.
It's not like that one moment in Cyberpunk where like it shows David's face and like it's really high, like all the sketches is highly detailed, and you see the tear flow down his eye.
It's not that. It's not like that. Yeah, that's a completely.
That was really cool.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Also, but that scene when I noticed it, I really like the detail where when she moves, it does change. Like whenever she slightly moves, it does change the coordinates.
Yeah,
and it it counts down perfectly. Like that's really cool detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the art style I really liked. It was very colorful. There were some scenes where I was like, dang, this is gorgeous. Like, the city they were in was really cool, especially at night. They did a lot of colorful lights. The other thing I really liked that Thane brought up was the music. I thought the music was phenomenal. You'll just be watching, and there's an epic fight scene with just a banger track playing. It's like, dang, dude, they hit it. Vivy's song, I really liked at the end. The way that they used music in the beginning, I thought was very underwhelming. I'm like, what's this plot of her being a singer? Like, we're not getting much of it. But then they kind of go back into it at the end where you're like, okay, this is pretty cool.
They give it relevance.
Yeah, for sure.
Good.
And then the last thing that I really like too, which I don't know if this stems from the fact that I'm watching a lot of mediocre anime right now, but I thought the cinematography and the camera work were really good.
Yeah.
Like, they wouldn't, like, an example of, instead of just showing a hallway, they would do like a zoom, like the camera's moving around to the hallway. There was just a lot of really cool cinematics that I enjoyed.
They had a very good grasp on the 3D space in their animated world.
Yeah, totally.
Very much so. I totally saw that.
So yeah, that was definitely a standout for me too. Was the cinematography.
So I guess looping into, or I guess transitioning to things that we didn't really like about the show, and I'll transition it with this. Episode 9, which is where we're introduced to the human being Matsumoto. Man, what a fun episode that was. What a cool little story they portrayed with very little to no words of Matsumoto's life, him visiting Vivy. You see as he grows, you see him become this doctor, you see him get a wife, you see him get a kid, and then you find out about his wife passing away and how he's going to take care of the little girl. And then later on in the series you find out the little girl also passed away. Holy crap, what a tragic and sad character Matsumoto is.
Yeah.
Can't say that about any of the other side characters in the entire series. And that's my biggest issue with it, is that I felt like, and this is the...
I think the problem is, like, you only know them for, like, 1 or 2 episodes, and it's like...
Yeah, and so that brings up perfectly what I was going to say. Yeah. I instantly related this to Violet Evergarden. Like, my realization that it's very similar storytelling to Violet Evergarden was when they went from arc to arc to arc. And in Violet Evergarden, you typically have the 1 to 2 episodes to get to know a character and grow attached to these characters. And for some reason, that writing did it well. And in my opinion...
that was just better written.
Vivy didn't.
Yeah.
And so that's what it comes down to, is the writing. And I'm not quite sure what's so different about the writing that did it for me, which I can't explain.
Maybe I can elaborate a little bit, because I've been thinking about this too, because I thought the exact same thing.
I think because it doesn't emotionally invest you as well.
Yeah, I think...
how though?
Well, I think that's what it is there's no relatability for me anyway, because I do see a lot of these as AI. So I'm like, it's still a robot, so I don't know if I care that much. Even like when they brought in like Vivy and her sisters, and then the sisters.
Each one of them was their sister.
Yeah,
their sister AI.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't really care. I think that there's still a level of
disconnect because they're robots.
Yeah, disconnect because they're robots, but also the emotional moments, or like the backstory, if you will, or whatever it is that's building these characters, we didn't get. Whereas you can point to several instances in Violet Evergarden where it's like, you got a soldier who is in battle wanting to write to his bride-to-be. You've got a mother that's on the brink of... I don't even want to spoil it. It was so good, but you got the mother episode.
Well, even the princess episode.
Yeah, you got
that's
the
one episode, and I freaking bawled my eyes out to that episode.
I think I know the difference. So this one is trying to be quick, fast-paced.
But most of these arcs had 2 episodes. They had extra
I know,
area
that's
to go.
the thing. Like, they had more time, but I think like it's still like, I think the pacing and like the emotion and the like emotional draw wasn't there. Like, they just didn't write it well.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't know what there was missing. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What was it missing?
Yeah, whereas in Violet Evergarden, they really focus on the emotion.
Yeah, I think it's the emotional situation that gets you attached to the specific characters.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
I also they didn't really have the right emotion in this one, in Violet Evergarden compared to, Vivy compared to Violet Evergarden.
I like how you brought up how it is AI, and that's probably why it also didn't hit as hard. It's harder to relate to something that's not very similar to you.
Something that could, if destroyed, could probably be put in another body.
Yeah. Whereas in Violet Evergarden, for example, like, they're people with human struggles. These are AI with seemingly human struggles, and even in reality these aren't very human struggles, because a lot of the times they were very blown out of proportion things that they were dealing with. Probably the most human AI one was the little lolly singer girl that
Ophelia.
Ophelia was gonna commit suicide, but ended up not really. That was kind of like one of those.
She still dies anyway.
It wasn't really a commit suicide moment anyway, because it was a fake thing. It was a weird fake out thing, and I feel like that one had the potential to get you on those heartstrings, but because they did the weird fake out stuff, it ended up not being as much.
Also, on Violet Evergarden, I remember like this episode I thought was the weakest was like one of the last one where it turned into an action show, and I was like, where did this come from?
And maybe that's the problem with this one, is because they knew they had to be action.
Like that was the wrong, like for an action episode, it's like that's the wrong show. Like I was having emotional drama, and then they just pull action out at the last minute. It's like,
and I think that might have been partly what was wrong with Vivy, was that it was an action show at its roots. Like the idea of it was to eventually be this big, awesome action show, but they was trying to tell this emotional story at the same time. And I feel like that's probably why the Ophelia episode didn't work, was because they rooted it in emotions, but then knew that they had to loop back eventually to make it this action show. So they essentially had to throw away the emotions by making the weird fake out with the other robot AI that was actually controlling her or whatever. So that's my biggest gripe with the whole show, though, is just the fact that some of those side stories really didn't connect with me. That said, them having meaning later on in the future for Vivy was worthwhile. It made those previous interactions worthwhile in my mind, even if I didn't like them as much. But I did enjoy them for the ending, especially at the song when you're seeing all of the flashbacks and everything. That made it worthwhile.
See, and I think my biggest thing, just to kind of piggyback off what you're saying, is none of the characters for me were relatable. Like, the one that I liked the most, or I guess the two rather, but they're the same thing, so was Matsumoto. I liked Matsumoto the robot. I definitely liked Matsumoto the doctor, and he was probably the only one, the doctor version, that I could relate to and I was actually rooting for.
Felt human.
Yeah, I wasn't really rooting for Vivy. Like, I mean, she's doing her thing.
She's a proxy for the audience. I feel like she was a proxy for the audience the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's not really very relatable. Like, even though it's supposed to be the most relatable, it's ironically not the most relatable.
Yeah, that is interesting.
And then they try to give her a new personality, make her peppy and stuff. It's like,
I liked her better. I liked the peppy one.
It's interesting because I was very put off right away from it, but it took me a little while to process that it's because she was dealing with her emotional trauma from the previous things, which is interesting to think that AIs can even have emotional trauma, and that's kind of what the whole point of it was exploring. And so it's a very deep show with a lot of deep concepts behind it, and I just feel like maybe they try to tackle too much stuff at once.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I got to. Just that it felt like they were trying to do too much. I think that this show would have been better off just focusing on their sci-fi world that they're in. I guess science fiction world rather. I don't know. I guess the life we're living in now is getting more and more closer to that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, the emotional stories weren't really there for me. Matsumoto was the only one, but I wanted to do more of I liked it when they were going back in time and trying to fix things and figuring out the different situations. And like you already said, the last 4 episodes were just bangers.
When it didn't work, what I wanted to see was them send Vivy back another 100 years with the information, what she had now, and be able to fix everything in the span of one episode. Like, you see different shots from all these different episodes we previously saw and how she fixed them in a better way. That's what I wanted. We didn't get that. So I was a little disappointed by that, but overall not. I wanted to point out one more thing really quick, that the first thing that made me relate it to Violet Evergarden was how every time Vivy got into a conversation with somebody, she would always ask them, what does it mean to put your heart into something? And that's the equivalent of Violet's what does I love you mean? They granted the two meanings and the two things they're asking are very different. But the fact that they both bring it up every single time, that's kind of what was instantly like, okay, I wonder if that's kind of like the correlation there, and that. But
yeah, no, I definitely see the parallels, and I bet if we looked into the writer, I bet I would bet that he probably got inspiration from Violet Evergarden,
the light novel or something.
Yeah, anything like that. But
he is a light novel writer, so probably.
I think overall, the show's not terrible. Would I watch it again? No. I think I gave it a 7. I mean,
I would give it an 8. Honestly, I enjoyed it enough to potentially give it an 8, just because I liked the.
It's a solid 8, I think. Yeah.
The fact that I liked the ending as much as I did, specifically the whole little Matsumoto stuff.
It keeps you entertained through the whole show.
It does. Yeah. It does. I guess the final like good note that I have on it is just going back to Matsumoto. Like, holy cow, like his sacrifice at the end, even like, oh dude, his whole character arc is so brutal. You only get to see it in the span of like 3 episodes. You see, like I said, this tragedy that his wife and his daughter passed away. He's got to essentially sacrifice his life without ever getting to hear Vivy sing in real life, which is the one thing he always wanted, but he literally couldn't do it. Oh, man. What a tragic character that is. And it's super well done for how short of a time it is compared to the rest of the series.
Yeah. That's all I've got on the show. If you guys got any more.
No, I think I'm done.
There was one quote I really liked. If you guys don't mind me sharing.
Go for it.
I don't know the context, and I wish I would have wrote it down now. But it was something along the lines of.
Also, one more thing before you say it, the giant AI face is kind of cliche. It's like, oh, it's a giant AI. Wow, iRobot, Terminator, freaking Fallout. Oh my
Cyberpunk.
gosh. Cyberpunk. Like. Just I don't know. I would have liked it if it was like humans who did like it's actually like some offshot of Toke. It's like, yeah, we hijacked it because we want to destroy AIs. We're proving it by doing these
they're bad or something.
Yeah, but instead it was just I thought they were gonna do that, but instead like because it's like, oh, maybe AI is not so bad. Maybe people scared of AI is probably worse. Yeah. But instead it's just big AI is evil. It's like, okay. But anyways, sorry, Sky.
So the quote, and maybe you guys, I feel like it came from, I don't know if it was Matsumoto, but I feel like it was one of the older gentlemen in the very beginning of it. But it's not a matter of how long you live, but what you do with the time you have left.
And sounds like a freaking Fast and Furious quote.
I can't remember who said it.
Would say.
I mean, this is Gandalf. This is a Gandalf quote, but I mean, you could credit it to anybody. There's been so many of those, but that's like one of my favorite quotes of all time of just the whole concept of it. But I thought it was really fun that it was in this one as well.
Live my life 1/4 mile at a time.
Well, I mean, it's a good quote, and I feel like it's extra fitting for a show like this because you literally see them use their life. You know, she over the span of 100 years. Really cool concept, by the way. I kind of wish we saw more like obvious technological advances, but there wasn't a lot of that.
It's kind of ironic since she's an immortal AI.
Yeah, that's why I think it's really cool for this story.
Yeah.
Overall, though, pretty happy with the show. Yeah. Honestly, I went into it not expecting to like it that much. When Thane pulled it up, and I was just like, okay, I've never heard of this show. Yeah. Is it going to be any good? And I watched episode 1. I'm just like, I've mixed the feelings about this one, and then it got better as I went, for sure.
See, and I think that was just my biggest problem with it, is like the ending's really good, but to get to that, it was a lot. And also, like I already mentioned, the characters, Matsumoto was the only one I really cared about.
It probably would have been one that I potentially would have dropped if I was watching it for this season, but then unfortunately realized later on that the ending was as good as it was.
Yeah. And in my blunder, I could have picked a show you guys probably would have really liked called Kids on the Slope.
I've heard of that.
But I thought it was 22 episodes, and then I look up, it's actually 12, and I was like, I thought this show was longer. When I watched it, I thought it was longer. It had so much character, so much depth.
Next time.
But next time I'll probably pick that. Sorry for the spoiler, but...
Regardless, I like it, though. I still think it was a good pick.
Yeah, I
quite enjoyed it. That's definitely, and I always feel like I'm always throwing this one under the bus. We all are kind of thrown in this one under the bus, and I'm sorry, Sky, but it's no Be the Beginning, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, Be the Beginning was so much worse.
I'm like, no, this wasn't bad though.
Yeah, okay.
This was on the higher end of the stuff we've done, I think, so far. Like that one, Be the Beginning is kind of like the bottom tier. Like it's probably the worst one we've done, I'd say.
Yep.
Wait, has it really been this long since I picked Afro Samurai? Because I consider that my worst show I've picked.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. And I even picked that show knowing the show looks.
See, I would much rather rewatch Vivy than rewatch Afro Samurai.
It's even Afro Samurai's even shorter.
Yeah,
%.
I would much rather watch.
I'm gonna quickly glance through some of these. Honestly, Kyoso Giga. I didn't love that one, but I think this one was better than Kyoso Giga.
When I watched that,
I
I was
agree.
disappointed because it was like I loved the show back then. Where's the magic? And it wasn't there.
It wasn't.
I'm curious as to what I gave Kyoso Giga. I bet I gave Kyoso Giga a 7 too.
Did you pick Dorohedoro?
Yeah.
Okay, that one's good because I was like,
Yeah.
you picked Fooly Cooly and you picked Dorohedoro.
Yeah. I picked Gurren Lagann. That's probably still our favorite, right?
It's pretty dang
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Although Yaboy Kanmin kinda
Yeah.
might have surpassed it for me.
I think Violet Evergarden is still my favorite.
Oh freak! I always forget that's one I picked too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the. You'd already seen that one as well.
I know, and I still
Dang,
cried.
dude, you're right. I bawled my eyes into that one. Shoot, there's some really bangers we've done, but we're gonna have to wait for another couple of weeks before we do
I
another
cried
show.
even harder in the movie, which
Oh, I still need to see
Yeah.
the
I haven't
movie.
seen it
you
either.
watch the movie. It's like the definitive end of the series.
I'll for sure
it's
watch it.
over,
for
over?
sure.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
like the
okay,
ending.
I
That's
need
like
to
the,
watch it now
the
then.
ending to the show. And also, you could watch the other movie.
I've
They have
seen
like
it.
2 movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
If you
the
want
extra more spin-off kind of stuff,
Yeah,
Like
if you
the-
want
she goes
more,
to like a college dorm or something.
like the
Yeah.
OVA.
yeah, there's
if you will.
OVA and a movie and a final movie.
Anyway, so next week we won't be doing a Pokemon episode. We're gonna be saving Pokemon up until April, so no Pokemon this month.
Sky's going on vacation.
This guy's going on vacation. We're all heavily jealous of him. He's gonna have a nice warm time.
I'm gonna come back
I'm
tan.
not jealous.
He's
I
gonna
heard
be warm.
I heard cruises are not fun, but that's just me.
Oh, I've always wanted to go on one.
Yeah.
I've heard many good things. So hope you have a good time, sir.
I hope so too.
Not next week, but in 2 weeks, which is I could look at a calendar. I have a cell phone. Hold on, I'm just stalling for time by
I think it's
spamming
March
words.
29th,
It'll be the 31st.
31st.
March 31st will be our winter 2023 seasonal review. Typically, our shows should be wrapped up by then. There might be a couple stragglers here and there, but during that episode, we'll be talking about the shows that we liked for the season, or some of our rewards, or whatever you want to call them, that we'll be giving out, quote unquote, giving out, as well as talking about the stuff we're going to be watching for the next season, the spring 2023 season. So look forward to that. In that show, we'll also, oh shoot, brain fart.
Brain fart.
I really don't remember what I was going to say there. It was something.
Talk about.
Oh, we'll be doing our next watch along episode.
Oh,
We'll
yeah,
bring that
yeah.
up next, so not for the next episode. So, like we're not doing a watch along episode this week, so you'll have 2 weeks to essentially catch up on your seasonal stuff, or watch another seasonal, or anything from your backlog if you feel like it.
Or you could be a rebel like me and watch old shows.
I said from your backlog.
Oh, from your back.
Yeah,
Okay,
I got
sorry.
you. I got you, Dane. I got you. But yeah, so you can watch anything really. Feel free. And then, like I said, we'll do our seasonal review, and then we'll go into our. We'll start up the spring season just like everybody else, with a watch along episode, which will be by Skylar, I believe.
And-
right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Skylar gets picked next.
And guess what? If you like Talking Red, we finally did an episode. It
We
should
did
be
it.
up. And
Should be,
also,
yes.
and also, will
Theoretically.
Thade get his God of War video done? I don't know. I should probably go work on
We
it.
filmed everything for
Yeah,
it.
filmed everything. All this goo is got slap
We
it
just
together.
we just need to pay that guy that cracks the whip that gets you to work.
Yeah.
We need to just give him a little more money so he hits you harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you guys for getting to the end of the episode. If you got to the end, let us know in the comments. Let us know what you thought about Vivy. Let us know what you're excited
Vivy
for.
section.
For let us know what you liked about this previous season of anime, what you're looking forward to the next one. We'll see you all next time, and have a good life. Bye.